Coming up on News Live at 6, Hendrix welcomes a new chaplain and what this means for the SU community.
Plus, a local clothing exchange is bringing people together, how the event is impacting the community one garment at a time.
And President Donald Trump has had a busy day in office. Find out his plans regarding Ukraine and the U.S. economy. News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Some breaking news from Capitol Hill as tonight, the Department of Justice is suing the state of New York. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Luke Welch.
And I'm Ben Bascuk in for Peter Elliott. The Attorney General Pam Bondi said just minutes ago that the state has consistently resisted the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration.
While it's still unclear what legal action the DOJ is taking, Bondi plans to include the state's green light law that allows non-citizens to apply for driver's license in the litigation. A similar suit was filed by Bondi against Illinois and Chicago just days ago.
Yeah, and this action today is taken by the Department of Homeland Security. 4 federal employees have been fired after accusations of reimbursing the city to house migrants. The agency says they bypassed processes funding the recent surge in immigration, but did not cite any policies that workers directly violated.
The termination comes after Elon Musk accused FEMA of hosting migrants in luxury hotels in New York City. Those fired include FEMA CFO and 3 program and grant specialists. FEMA Director Cameron Hamilton says that if these payments were to continue, they likely would have funded various illegal activities.
And a new staff member is currently being instated at Hendrix Chapel. Our Abby Tolchin is live from the quad right now with the details on the newest SU staff member. Abby?
That's right, I'm here in front of Hendrix Chapel where the installation of Lutheran Reverend Julie A. Kelly is happening right now. I talked to the Dean of Hendrix Chapel, Dean Conklin, about what her plans are.
Her real focus is to be as welcoming as one can be. So while being Lutheran, she is also outreaching to a variety of different people from a variety of different traditions. So one of the misunderstandings is, do you have to be Lutheran to hang out with Chaplain Kelly? The answer is no. She's both rooted and reaching. She's rooted in her Lutheran faith, and from those roots has branches and reach that extends to everybody.
After the installation of Reverend Kelly, there will be a reception. This reception will include various music performances, food, and various people speaking, including Dean Conkle and Julie herself. They both mentioned how exciting this event will be because it honors the Lutheran service. Reverend Julie was in California before working in Syracuse and worked with soup kitchens that fed hundreds of people. Coming to Syracuse was a big difference for her, but her decision to come here is very heartwarming.
I think Syracuse chose me. I heard the story of the Onondaga and Haudenosaunee people and the lake, and something was drawing me to this place. And I'm kind of excited about the idea of doing something I've never done before, which is working specifically with students as a chaplain.
Now that's all I have for Reverend Julie here in the quad. Back to you in the studio.
A heartwarming story indeed on such a cold night, Abby. Thank you. A professor in the College of Visual and Performing Arts is using biotechnology in his work to design sustainable yet innovative products. Yves Michel is currently working on Pulmo, a mask used in freediving to allow for a longer swim. This semester at SU, Michel is teaching a biodesign workshop to give students the chance to engage in research and create their own product.
And a local church is hosting a unique clothing drive with a cause. Our reporter Grace Elford takes us to the event and tells us about its community impact.
The multi-purpose room at All Saints Church was filled with community last weekend as it hosted an intergenerational clothing exchange. The event was run by the Philanthropic Educational Organization, also known as PEO. Attendees were able to clear out their closets to give back to the Syracuse community. For Oliver's son, the exchange brought an opportunity to find unique pieces.
I really like old clothing. I like clothes with a story. I also really think there's like a benefit to shopping secondhand and reducing waste in kind of like whatever ways you can.
As well as providing a fun community event, The clothing exchange promotes women's education.
PEO is an organization of women that's been around since the 1800s, and we raise money to educate women. We do it through loans and scholarships and grants. We just want women to be able to better themselves through education.
PEO's goal, as well as funding scholarships for women, is to give back to the community surrounding each chapter. Member Mary Louise Matson says the chapter took this opportunity to help an especially vulnerable population.
What's left tonight will be opened up in the morning, tomorrow morning after the church services, to the immigrant population that attends this church, and there are quite a few of them. And they can come in and choose clothing for them, their husbands, their children, whoever.
She finds that despite our differences, we can all contribute to a common goal of helping others around us.
We all pray for the same things.
Reporting for CitrusTV News, I'm Grace Elford.
Grace, thanks so much. I should have grabbed a jacket here before going outside tonight.
I know, I should have buttled up too. Speaking of extra layers,
it seems like
right?
we're finally getting a little bit warmer throughout the week, but these temperatures, I'm still just way
My
too
fingers
cold.
are crossed. My fingers are crossed for warmer weather on the way.
Well, you know, at least there's no breeze outside, but what we
Yes.
do have inside is another type of breeze, and that's our weather anchor, Chloe Breeze. Chloe, can you tell if these temperatures are sticking around?
Yeah, Luke, these temperatures are here to stay. Ben, you're going to need your jacket for a little while longer here. We're going to be seeing some snow into the week, and right now it's about 31 degrees. The snow is just starting, as we saw with Abby outside. Hopefully she warms up. But it's currently 9-mile-per-hour winds, and we're going to be seeing that into the night as well. It's going to be a low of 14, but it's going to feel like 7. So definitely going to need those jackets and gloves if you decide to go out tonight. And looking ahead into the region, current temperatures are staying in the 20s, early 30s. We have 30 in Penyon, Cortland, and Binghamton. And we got 31 in Ithaca and Syracuse. And we're staying in that 28 area for Rochester, Fulton, and Rome. So these temperatures are here to stay. I'll have more on the snow later in Live at 6 for you guys. But as of right now, I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, Chloe. Well, the first bird flu case in the state of New York has been confirmed in Madison County. The diagnosis came from a backyard poultry flock housing around 15 duck and geese in Wampville. The New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets suggest any remaining birds will be euthanized in order to prevent further spread. Contact with the animals was limited to just the owners. They will be monitored for symptoms by county public health for 10 days from their exposure.
Well, the business formerly known as Tommy's Bar and Grill is planning to
It will rebrand as a diner, forgive us. The bar has voluntarily suspended its liquor license after a brawl broke out, leading to 2 people being stabbed and another shot back in September. The city's planning commission accepted a request from the bar's property owner to reopen with the name Tommy's Diner. They've yet to provide an official opening date.
Well, just northwest on I-81, where a hotel is making a comeback under new management in Salina. The Randolph House is returning this March, managed by Wyndham Properties. The hotel was a popular place for conferences and weddings before it closed in 2022. While the hotel will be under new management, they decided to keep the old name for, quote, nostalgic value. The opening comes after the Crown Plaza Hotel in Syracuse closed back in March, taking away more than 270 hotel rooms from the region.
A CNY property manager is being accused of stealing rent checks from several apartments in Onondaga County. Cicero police announced 30-year-old Kristen Hogan is being charged with grand larceny in the 3rd degree at the Wedgwood Apartments in Bridgeport. Police say over 50 tenants have had their checks stolen or altered. Hogan had already been arrested by Camillus police for the same issue back in December of 2024.
Authorities are revealing new details about a state thruway building fire in Salina last night. The fire department says that the office didn't have sprinklers to combat the blaze. Since the building was constructed in 1974, sprinklers were not required under fire code. According to the Liverpool department, it took more than 60 firefighters 2 hours to extinguish the flames, damaging multiple floors in the office. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the fire.
Authorities are investigating another fire that destroyed a garage on the 700 block of Danforth. Firefighters responded to the blaze around 9:40 a.m. and extinguished the bulk of the fire in less than 10 minutes. They say the fire burned holes in the garage's ceiling, walls, and door. Despite the extensive damage, the fire department says that nobody was injured in the flames.
The New York State Police announced on social media that it will be updating its patrol vehicle paint job. The police plan to transition from blue and gold to gray and gold to pay tribute to its historic design. The state police say the new gray body, ensures our vehicles remain highly visible and instantly recognizable to the public, end quote. The agency says the transition will happen gradually as older vehicles are replaced.
According to a new AAA report, pedestrian deaths have risen more than 80% in the last 15 years. Researchers say the increase occurs on dark and busy city roads in low-income neighborhoods, where many residents rely on walking. High costs and public pushback stand in the way of improvement to pedestrian safety, but AAA reminds drivers and pedestrians they both play a role in following traffic laws to ensure a safer future.
To new details just down the New York State Thruway, Amazon plans to build a new warehouse off of exit 627 near Schenectady. The distribution center is expected to be over 3 million square feet in the town of Florida, not to be confused with the state. The facility will use robotic systems instead of traditional warehouse racking. Construction is expected to cost several $100 million, create at least 300 jobs, but no word on when construction itself will start.
Governor Kathy Hochul has announced a $26 million grant to Oswego County to expand broadband access for nearly 11,000 homes. The project will add nearly 350 miles of fiber infrastructure, significantly expanding high-speed internet access throughout rural areas. This grant is part of New York State's Municipal Infrastructure Program, awarding over $240 million in funds for broadband expansion projects. Hochul says, quote, broadband infrastructure represents our commitment to building a more connected New York.
Congressman John Mannion is continuing to support students and New York dairy farmers by helping to advance the bipartisan Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act. Most kids are not meeting their daily dairy intake recommendations according to the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee report. The act will improve the quality and nutrition of school lunches by giving students access to more milk options produced by local New York dairy farms.
Coming up, new Trump administration confirmations out of the U.S. Senate where appointees stand when we come back.
Plus, Vladimir Putin and President Trump spoke over the phone today, what he talked about with the Russian leader when News Live at 6 returns.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Rolling.
Sound is speeding.
Can you slow that down, please? This is 28-1.
28-1.
You're watching CitrusTV News, live at 6 with Peter Elliott, Luke Welch, and Chloe Breeze. And now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. After some long deliberations, the Senate confirmed Tulsi Gabbard as the new director to national intelligence earlier this morning. The 52-48 vote was largely along party lines, with nearly every Republican present voting in favor of Gabbard. The one-off, Senator Mitch McConnell, who says that Gabbard's history of, quote, alarming lapses in judgment withheld him from voting to confirm.
And the Senate has also voted to advance Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s nomination for Secretary of Health and Human Services. The 53-47 vote fell on party lines again, showing strong Republican support for the former Democratic presidential candidate. A final confirmation vote is expected to take place this Thursday.
To the latest in Western Europe, President Donald Trump has had a busy 24 hours. A long call with Russian President Vladimir Putin saw the release of an American former diplomat, Mark Fogel of Pennsylvania, in exchange for crypto money launderer Alexander Vinnick, who has been in custody in California since 2017. But another focus in their talk, ending the nearly 3-year-long war between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, President Trump took to Truth Social, saying the two would work together very closely towards halting the conflict as quickly as possible. Trump then called Ukrainian President Zelensky, saying their discussion went very well. However, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says Ukraine returning to its original borders post-war seems unrealistic, and that a peace deal would not include the country's admission into NATO. Trump sent his economic secretary, Scott Bessent, to the capital city of Kyiv today to discuss aid cuts and energy resources.
Will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals into our country, and I will bring back the American dream. We're going to bring it back.
Lots of campaign showed promises, but another promise of President Trump's that may be difficult to deliver. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released a consumer price index for January showing an unexpected jump in inflation to now 3%.
You heard there the president saying that he would look to end inflation rapidly, but with prices of necessities like food and energy rising nearly 0.5% in the last month and 3.3% in the last year, feds are saying that the job is clearly not done yet. Chloe?
And coming up on News Live at 6, I'll have your 5-day weather forecast. Stick with us.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. Taking a look at your 5-day weather forecast. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be seeing some of those morning showers. We're going to see a high of 41 and a low of 20. And then moving on to Valentine's Day, unfortunately, it's not going to be sunny and enjoyable. We'll see some snow in the morning and just some overcast through the rest of the day with a high of 25. And just like the rest of the week, we're going to be seeing some snow Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. With the highest temperature the rest of the week is going to be Sunday, with a high of 36 and a low of 10 degrees. And then on Monday, we're going to be a high of 14 and a low of 7. But with all of the snow, we're going to be under a winter storm warning. So take a look at the snowfall here. In the Syracuse area, we're going to be seeing around 4 to 8 inches of snow, and with the rest of the area like Penn Yan and Ithaca, we're going to be seeing about 1 to 2 inches of snow, and the most snow we're going to be seeing is about 18 inches in Oswego. So the rest of the week and into the next week, we're going to be experiencing many inches of snow. So it's best to take out those winter boots in the closet. They should have already been out because snow has just been the main theme of February this month. but definitely jackets, gloves, scarves, hats, everything you can do to stay warm. And with this winter weather advisory, the roads are going to be very icy, and it's going to make driving conditions difficult. So stay safe out there in the snow and keep warm as best as you can. But Luke and Ben, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
Chloe, thank you. My two-wheel drive car is not happy. But the Federal Communications Commission sent a letter to both Comcast and NBC Universal that'll begin an investigation into their diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. The letter comes weeks after President Donald Trump signed an executive order looking to end DEI practices in U.S. corporations.
FCC Chairman Brendan Carr is concerned that Comcast and NBC Universal may be promoting forms of DEI in a manner that does not comply with FCC regulations. Comcast, in a statement today, says, "For decades, our company has been built on a foundation of integrity and respect for all of our employees and customers."
It's not the news we were expecting out of Comcast
off
the back of their Warner Bros. Merger, but it's interesting to see how the promise from President Trump into these private corporations is taking effect.
For sure, and we saw that happen with the 60 Minutes interview concerning former Vice President Kamala Harris, and they edited that interview. They came under a lot of fire from the Trump administration, that lawsuit that went through the FCC forcing CBS to release that interview entirely.
The FCC really cracking down. You know who else they're cracking down? Syracuse fans on Syracuse men's basketball. But here to tell us more about that, it's Luke Burgess with sports. Hey, Luke.
Hey guys, unfortunately the embarrassment for Syracuse men's basketball reached a high point last night. We'll relive it all coming up after the break.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Hi, my name is Sadie Miller.
My name is Luke Brady. I go by St. Luke.
So this one I started with this guitar lick.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Syracuse men's basketball got to Coral Gables, maybe feeling confident as ever about a chance for an ACC win. All SU left with was its 14th loss of the season. Welcome to sports, I'm Luke Burgess. Last week, Syracuse men's basketball was thumped by Duke, and it took 3 overtimes to beat a weak Boston College team. So it was certainly refreshing of a thought to take on 3 of the worst ACC teams in its final month of the season. That started last night with the worst of them all. Miami had only 1 win in all of 2025 before it took down Syracuse 91-84. It's the first time the Hurricanes have scored 90 points since their win against Presbyterian before Christmas. The Orange are now in danger of missing the ACC tournament in the first year where that's even been possible. Despite almost 50 points combined from J.J. Starling and Eddie Lampkin, it was Matthew Cleveland from the U who shone the brightest with 32 points on 10 of 13 shooting. The Orange are back on the court Sunday against UNC in a seemingly more challenging matchup. North of the border, the Four Nations face-off begins tonight with a round-robin matchup between Canada and Sweden. The U.S. doesn't get started until tomorrow with a clash against Finland. The tournament has been implemented as a chance for NHL players to represent their countries on the biggest stage with their exclusion from the Olympics. That started all the way back in 2014, so for many players, it's the first time they've had a designated time off from the NHL that allows them to play for their country. That's a big thing for a lot of these guys. The tournament begins with this round-robin format that runs through the next week. The top 2 teams play in the final in Boston. That takes place 1 week from today. Over in Indiana, the Knicks returned to the win column last night with a 128-115 victory against the Pacers. Guard Josh Hart and center Karl Anthony Towns combined for 70 total points, more than half of New York's total. Cat and Hart both snagged double-doubles in the win. The big man picked up 12 boards, while Hart finished with 10 exactly. Despite a dismantling from the Celtics a few days ago, New York still stands as winners in 8 of its last 10. That has them third in the East on the cusp of the All-Star break. The final game before the week off is tonight. The Hawks visit the Garden for a 7:30 game time. Guys?
Luke Burgess, thanks so much. When we come back, we'll have one last look at your wake-up weather. Stay with us.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Women are bad with money.
It's what the world's been saying for centuries. But now,
we've got something to say.
Save it. Save the old-fashioned advice, the empty excuses. It's all worthless, unlike us.
To our fellow females, it is time to save ourselves by saving our money.
Contributing to our futures, investing in our independence.
Until we're no longer
80% more likely than men to live in poverty in retirement.
So again, we say to that, save it.
The falsehoods, the feelings of fault, then the funds.
Learn how to save for your retirement at wesaysaveit.org.
Welcome back into News Live at 6. Taking a look at your wake-up weather. It's going to be some warm temperatures, but some morning showers with 39 degrees, and it's going to be 20-mile-per-hour winds. It's going to be strong and cold out there. And then looking ahead to the rest of the day, we're going to see 40 degrees at noon and 32 degrees at 6 p.m. Again, with those early rain and snow showers, and then we'll be moving on to some higher winds throughout the day, unfortunately.
Sounding pretty brutal. Chloe Breeze again joining here at the desk. Thank you so much. Well, a Syracuse music legend could be joining the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Fish, and that's Fish spelled with a PH, is nominated to receive the prestigious honor.
Yeah, John Fishman, the band's lead drummer and namesake, grew up in Syracuse. He even graduated from Jamesville DeWitt High School back in '83. Wow, lots of people inducted into the Hall of Fame today. Yeah. That's back in Ohio, my home state, in Cleveland, right there.
Some other names there, we got Mariah Carey, Billy Idol, Cyndi Lauper. Girls just want to have fun, right, Chloe?
Oh, yes.
Right,
oh,
Luke? Girls just want
Yes.
That sounds right.
Oasis and Outkast. I kind of love that song, the Hey.
Mariah Carey. I haven't heard of her in a while.
I know,
she usually falls out in the wintertime for Christmas season, topping charts.
But she's had some iconic hit. Like, come on, more than just.
Oh, sure. You know? I mean, I think it's the same as sports, right? Like, you got to give the designated time period before you can induct these people after they've kind of gone through their prime. So
there you go. Let it marinate.
I like that analogy. Yeah. And you know what else? I love Mariah Carey's recent work. You know, that trio around Christmas time with Jennifer Hudson and Ariana Grande. You know, the whistle notes going everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Oh yes.
I like to hit those notes myself sometimes.
We hear them. We hear them constantly.
Yeah.
Especially after all these Super Bowl halftime shows too. Yeah. I'm thinking, who's next, right? Maybe we bring back one of the oldies but the goodies. You know.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed Kendrick's performance at the halftime show. Do you guys have any thoughts on it? I don't know if you guys have talked about this throughout the week.
Huge SZA fan. So I was, and Serena Williams, I'm a huge tennis fan as well. So that really just completed my night, as well as a Birds win. Chloe, I know you appreciated that too.
Oh yes, Luke and I will be there this weekend in Philadelphia to celebrate.
There you go.
Oh, with the parade.
Yeah, we'll be
that's
there. Well,
big
that's
stuff.
Citrus TV News Live at 6 for this Wednesday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at Citrus TV News. Now, for the entire Citrus TV News team, I'm Ben Bascuk.
From Chloe Breeze and Luke Burgess, I'm Luke Welch. Have a great night, Syracuse. Stay warm.